Hi friends, it's me, Courtney. Don't be fooled by the new hair. I'm so excited to be with you for another Bible time this week. I apologize that we didn't have time to do a Bible time this past week. Things have been, I'm sure as you know, really hard with the pandemic, with the protests going on. There's been a lot to talk about and think about, and I have been praying for you as you process everything that is happening. I hope that you are seeing God show up and that you are listening to the voice of God during this time. Today, I'm going to start a new series. Our Sunday school teachers will be joining me in this series for the summer, and it's a series on compassion. We will be using curriculum from Illustrated Ministry, which means that there's music to go along with it. And so if you watch through the end of this video, you'll get to hear a couple of our songs for this lesson. We will be doing 3 different modules over the summer. The first starts today with 4 lessons. We're going to do the first one today, but 4 total lessons on compassion in the Hebrew scriptures or in the Old Testament. And then we'll do 4 lessons on compassion in the New Testament. And we'll wrap up with 4 lessons on living a compassionate life. So today begins Module 1, Compassion in the Hebrew Scriptures, and we'll be focusing specifically on Genesis chapter 18, verses 1 through 8, in which Abraham and Sarah are met with guests. Are you ready to jump in? All right, let's do it. Before we jump into the Bible reading today, I want you to think about the word hospitality. What does that word mean? Well, to get at that meaning, let's think about what makes you feel welcome. When you go over to a friend's house, what makes you feel welcome? When you come to church, what makes you feel welcome? Think about that for a minute. Now, let's reverse it. When someone comes to your home, what do you do to make them feel welcome? When you see someone you don't know at church, what do you do to make them feel welcome? When you see someone you don't know on the street or in a restaurant, what do you do to make them feel seen or known or welcome in that space? Hospitality has to do with welcome and generosity and kindness and having compassion on someone who's in a space that maybe isn't familiar to them or a new space. Hospitality can be shown in a lot of different ways. And today, as we read our scripture from Genesis 18, we're going to see how Abraham and Sarah showed hospitality to God. Genesis 18, verses 1 through 8. The Lord appeared to Abraham by the oak trees of Mamre as he sat at the entrance of his tent on a hot day. He looked up and saw 3 men standing near him. When he saw them, he ran from the tent entrance to meet them and bowed down to the ground. He said, "My Lord, if I find favor with you, do not pass by your servant. Let a little water be brought, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. Let me bring a little bread, that you may refresh yourselves, and after that you may pass on, since you have come to your servant." So they said, "Do as you have said." And Abraham hastened, he quickly went to the tent to Sarah and said, "Quick, make 3 measures of choice flour, knead it, and make cakes for our guests." Abraham ran to the herd and took a calf, tender and good, and gave it to the servant, who quickly prepared it. Then he took curds and milk and the calf that he had prepared and set it before them, and he stood by them under the tree while they ate. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Now that we've read our scripture, I want you to think about these things. How do you think Abraham felt when he first saw those 3 men? How do you think the men felt when Sarah and Abraham showed them compassion by making them food? If you were Abraham and Sarah, what would you have done? If you were going to make someone your favorite meal to show hospitality, what would you make? Can you remember a time when someone who you just met did something kind for you? Can you think of a time in which you did something kind or compassionate for someone you'd just met? This story is a beautiful reminder that when we show compassion and kindness to other people, we are showing compassion and kindness to God. How could this change the way you see other people in your life, especially people you don't know well yet? How can you see God in others? Friends, thank you for being with me today. I hope you stick around to learn our 2 new songs that we're learning today. We will be learning the songs from the Illustrated Ministry curriculum, and the songs are called "Clothe Yourselves with Compassion," and the second song is called "What We Need." God bless you, friends. I'll see you soon.
Hospitality, courage and kindness, grace is what we need to be compassionate, showing God's love to everyone that we meet. One day 3 hungry strangers appeared to Sarah and Abraham. "Please stay for lunch, we have enough to share with everyone." Hospitality, courage and kindness, grace is what we need to be compassionate, showing God's love to everyone that we meet. Shipro and Pua weren't afraid of the king. they honored and feared the Lord. And in return, God blessed them both with children they adored. Hospitality, courage and kindness, grace is what we need. To be compassionate, showing God's love to everyone that we meet. David had vowed to honor the Lord. With kindness he showed to all. And so he asked Mephibosheth to dine in the king's hall. And hospitality, courage and kindness, grace is what we need. To be compassionate, showing God's love to everyone that we need. Soldiers were fighting in a great war. The battle shook up the town. The king set out a feast for them. They laid their weapons down. And hospitality, courage and kindness, grace is what we need. To be compassionate, showing God's love to everyone that we meet. Everyone that we meet. To everyone that we meet. We are the people of God. We are the people of God. We are chosen and beloved. And so we must clothe ourselves with compassion and kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. And over all these things, over all these things, over all these